The Simpsons Hit and Run is probably my favourite game of all time, or at least one of my favourite games of all time. I'm a massive fan of The Simpsons, and I feel like Simpsons Hit and Run has always been a no-brainer of a game to play. My earliest memories of playing a game is of Simpsons Hit and Run, and getting stuck on the final mission of the game, but since then I've probably played the game in its entirety like 100 times, or at least like 5 times. I come back to it now every now and then, to complete, and since then I own on PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, and of course I'm doing this review on PC, and I'm basically trying to answer the question, does this game still hold up today? Released in 2003, The Simpsons Hit and Run is essentially the Simpsons meet an open-world driving game. The game clearly takes inspiration from games like Grand Theft Auto, but instead of a realistic crime world, you're exploring Springfield as Simpsons characters. At the time, I'm sure this was a really exciting idea. Instead of just playing through levels based on the show, you actually drive around Springfield, visit familiar locations, and interact with characters from the series. One of Hit and Run's biggest strengths is Springfield itself. The game does a really good job making the city feel like a real place. You have evergreen turrets downtown and around the squid pool area which fans will instantly recognise. What I appreciate is the amount of small details everywhere. Characters appear around the world, sometimes pedestrians and sometimes driving cars. It does lead to some funny moments like seeing characters driving cars you would not expect them to have. There are also moments where cars have no visible drivers, which is a bit odd, but it does add to the charm of revisiting a 2003 game. The world is full of little Simpsons-style jokes, and gags that reward exploration. The main gameplay loop is driving around Springfield, completing missions, collecting items, and unlocking new vehicles. The driving itself is simple, which makes it easy for players. There are also plenty of vehicles to unlock, and some missions require specific cars. The mission structure is where the game starts showing its age. Earlier on, Hit and Run does a great job introducing to Springfield and its mechanics. However, as you get further on into the game difficulty starts increasing. One of the first major difficulty spikes I noticed was in level 5's mission, Never Trust a Snake. The game expects you to do the whole mission under what feels like a short time period. This becomes much more harder with level 6, Set to Kill, and then from level 7's Long Black Probes, all the way to the end of the game with the final missions. The challenge can sometimes feel less like a satisfying difficulty increase, and more like the game becoming more frustrating. The playable character choices are interesting. Most of the game focuses on the Simpsons family, but eventually you get to play as Apu. Story-wise, Apu makes sense because he is involved in the main conspiracy, but gameplay-wise, it is a surprising choice after spending so much time playing as the family. However, I like that Hit and Run was willing to explore more of Springfield, rather than only focusing on the main characters. Outside of the main story, there are plenty of side activities. Collector cards, wasps, gags, clothes, bonus mission, street races, a minigame that no one talks about, and I don't think the game needs you to complete everything to enjoy it, but these activities help make Springfield feel bigger. The bonus missions are especially interesting because they can introduce a unique vehicle to unlock. The final level is where Hit and Run really changes. I love that level 7 starts inside the Simpsons house. After spending the whole game leaving from different locations, returning home, almost makes you think that you're starting another normal level, before the game reveals that this is the finale. Springfield itself also changes. The police are replaced by hearses, races featuring zombies, and the whole city feels infected by the invasion. Mr. Burns' office is another location that stands out because it feels completely different from the rest of Springfield. The UFO is probably the closest thing in the game to a boss fight. Hit and Run does not really have the traditional bosses, but the UFO feels like a final challenge because it is a unique threat that changes the gameplay. However, the final missions are not perfect. Some objectives feel repetitive, especially having to destroy the UFO and then repeatedly collecting nuclear waste. The ideas are great, but sometimes mission design does not fully match the scale of the story. One thing that makes Hit and Run interesting even today is that people are still discovering things about it. Recently, leaked beta material has shown that some cut content was more detailed than what appeared in the final game. For an example, some cutscenes apparently expanded on the story details, like what would happen to the zombies after Kang and Kodos were defeated. It showed that there are more planned for this game. In fact, there are also sequels planned for this game, but unfortunately never ended up getting made. So, do I recommend Simpsons Hit and Run? It depends really. It mainly depends if you're a fan of the show, because if you're not a fan of the show, I can't imagine someone enjoying this game. But if you're a fan, you probably will. You enjoy the references, and you can definitely tell that this game was made with a lot of passion and a lot of love. And you can definitely tell that the creators were definitely fans of the show. That being said, there are definitely its flaws with some of the design and some of the bits that definitely feel outdated, but it's a shame that there is no modern release, meaning if you do want to play this game, you've got to play it on like one of the old consoles or an emulator, I guess, or pirating on PC, which I'm not saying you should do. I'm just saying it's pretty much the only way you can get a digital version on PC, unless you have like a disc drive and the physical version. But that being said, there is also a modding community and in fact, there's probably like an active speedrunning community as well, but I'm never that good at like speedrunning games. I've tried speedrunning Simpsons Run before, and I'm not that good at the game. But the modding community is fairly active, and there's a lot of cool mods that I definitely do want to try out, so maybe some mod reviews in the future, if I do decide to do them. But that's going to be it for now, so cheers everyone watching, and yeah, see you all in my next review. Very much, and goodbye.